Welcome to the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast. I'm Jasmin Haley, healthcare provider turned educator, entrepreneur, and startup strategist. Not too long ago, I was burnt out, overwhelmed, depressed, and full of fear from a toxic work environment. I created my business out of necessity to create a legacy I can be proud of today. It helps me transform the lives of women every single day to pursue their dreams and entrepreneurial goals. I created this podcast to share the empowering stories of entrepreneurial women, help you break through self-doubt to your greatness, and share business strategies to help you create a thriving and profitable business. If you're an emerging entrepreneur or business owner that wants to create the mindset needed to escape burnout, reclaim your personal power, and pursue your entrepreneurial dreams, this podcast is for you. Stay tuned and listen in. Welcome. This is your host, Jasmin Haley of the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast. And I'm actually really excited to hear your feedback on the content that I've created in this training, how to focus on income generating tasks in your business. One of the things that I have consistently seen in my clients, whether they are making $10K a month, $15K a month, $20K a month, $30K a month, or even their first $1,000, like it doesn't matter what stage you're in. I feel from all the ranges of entrepreneurs I've worked with, every single one of them was trying to figure out how can I take my focus as CEO, how can I step into my role fully as a CEO, still make it profitable, and not always have your time sucked completely dry by mundane tasks that aren't really leading to profit. And so I break down an acronym. I got another acronym in there for y'all on what are some ways in which you can kind of clearly map out what choices you need to make in your business. So if you want to move from having a passion project to actually being a CEO of a business with a team, because you're not going to be able to do this alone, you have to build a winning team. You have to get focus. You have to get focus on the bottom line. And the bottom line is you can make an impact. You can have a heart-driven business. You can be a purpose-led entrepreneur, just like me. However, I need to be strategic with the decisions that I make. I need to be strategic with where I spend my time. I need to be strategic with every single decision that I make and make sure that the decisions that I'm making are actually moving me forward towards the goals I'm trying to achieve. And this is something that has to be assessed on a routine basis. Prior to this week's training, I did a training focused on KPI, why that was important, those key driving forces in your business. So you know that as the host of the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast, I have a Breakthrough to Excellence network. It's a business network of women who want to overcome fear, who want to overcome challenges, and who want to move to building 6 figures or more revenue in their business. And one of the key things I often see with my clients is focusing on those income generating tasks, trying to figure out what are the next steps for me in my business, or why am I stuck? Why isn't the needle moving? So this training will give you an opportunity to really deeply reflect on that. And what I would encourage you to do is, if you have the ability, please grab a pen and paper, write those pertinent questions down, and really dive in deep and be honest with yourself with currently where your business is and where some adjustments need to be made. Right now in 2020, I am in a business pivot, a business brand pivot. After having a successful 6-figure business, I decided to change it, completely change it. And prior to this recording of this intro, just a few months ago, I was in a pit of despair in my pivot. Yes, me here on this podcast, week after week, encouraging you, sharing these empowering stories. Well, guess what? It gets hard for me too. If it's hard for you, I have dealt with some of the challenges or some new challenges that will soon be in your realm one day. And I had to figure out, like, what do I do? What's my next step? Because I know this isn't working. And I had to be honest with myself and say, it's not my client's fault. It's not my contractor's fault. It's not my team's fault. I'm the CEO. So I have to be honest and realize that I've got to get out of my own way. So even for me, and I'll talk about this in another podcast, even for me, I needed to be in a place where I stepped out on extreme level of faith in knowing that things are not working out right now. But in order for me to stay focused on income generating tasks, I'm going to have to invest more money, right? And get more team members and get more things off of my plate and outsource like it's nobody's business so I can get the clarity I need, the space I need to really dive into these income generating tasks for my business. And sometimes it's that. But the answer for each of you is different. It's different. There is no cookie cutter. There's no strategic plan that I'm going to write for person A, B, and C that's going to be the same. Everybody's is different. I believe in having an individualized approach when it comes to business success. Absolutely. There's no cookie cutter way. Everyone's journey is different. So be mindful of that. I'm going to give you some tools to map out your goals. I'm going to talk about mapping out your goals and some of the things that make it in our way as we're moving towards our goals. Be honest and remember, I am here for you. I am here for you. Join my free Facebook group, Breakthrough to Excellence, from Side Hustler to CEO. I give trainings in there, and I have a number of other resources that if you're stuck and you're tired of spinning your wheels, let's hop on a call. Let's chat. Let's talk about where you are, where you want to be, and let's see if we're a good fit to work together. Because I have had such an incredible journey so far in my business to be able to help these amazing entrepreneurial women reach and get to their goals, have months of work done within just a few short weeks of having tremendous amount of clarity and getting their mind together and out of the tumbleweeds. All right. I hope you enjoy this training, and I'll see you all next time. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our training, How to Focus on Income Generating Tasks in Your Business. This is such a valuable and important conversation that should be frequently reviewed from time to time. In fact, I would say to check on this quarterly. Really, and for me personally, I am checking on this weekly and monthly. So if you have reviewed any of my previous trainings, you know that I'm all about strategy. I am a biz strategist, and I talked about KPI. I talked about, utilizing a map, having that type of analogy when you look at your business. And when you are strategic, I'm very heart-centered, by the way, but when you are strategic, it will keep you in line. It will keep you focused. So my word of this year, I choose a word every year on what I want to focus on and be intentional with. I do a vision board party, so I hosted one this year. My word is actually focus. I decided to focus on what matters and what's important, especially when you are pivoting like I am into a new industry, or you're starting off new in your business, or you are currently at 20K and you're trying to get to 50K months. You gotta be focused. You gotta be strategic, and everything that we do that involves true growth in the business ultimately leads to something being income generating. So I'm going to break it down for y'all today in about a half hour on what you need to focus on. Drop your questions in the comments if you happen to be viewing this live. If not, you can feel free and join the Facebook group from Side Hustler to CEO, Breakthrough to Excellence, from Side Hustler to CEO, to drop your questions in the actual training link so that I can provide feedback, or one of my team members can. All right, welcome to the training. I want you to grab a pen and a paper. If you happen to be listening to this recording and you are not safe, grab a pen and paper later. But at some point you will, because it's time for you to get ready to get to work. I'm Jasmin Haley. I am the host of the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast. I'm as well as the founder of the Breakthrough to Excellence Network. I'm an award-winning national speaker, podcaster, and pro educator. And I have gone from complete burnout and have utilized my skills and God-given talents to get out of that place of burnout and create a professional career, a business on my own terms. And I have learned a lot along the way. And it's why I have devoted now and committed and dedicated myself to helping entrepreneurial women grow their business, overcome fear, overcome those scarcity mindset, trash thoughts that tell us that we aren't deserving, and to help you grow your business to 6 figures of revenue. All right, or higher, whatever you see fit. I have clients that have exceeded the goals that I even set for myself. It's all about what your measure of success is and getting to that place of winning. And we are all capable of that. There's a reason why you're here. There's thoughts of wanting to make a greater impact. There's a reason why you're listening to this, and you're fully capable of that. I firmly believe that the thoughts that you have within your mind that keep showing up over and over again, you know, those lessons that you never want to listen to, right? Those same lessons that keep on showing up. Well, those lessons are there for a reason. Those that calling is there for a reason. It's there because you're fully capable of achieving it. And so don't ignore that. One of the greatest things that you really want to avoid, one of the most harmful, challenging things that can happen, is getting to that end of our lives and having huge regrets. Most of the people who get to that stage of life, there's a book called The Top 5 Regrets of Those Dying. It's written by Bonnie Ware. Many of them mention that. And so there are some people that are listening to this that are on the fence on whether or not they should move forward with their business. I want you to follow me on Instagram at It's Jasmin Haley. Listen to some of the mindset trainings that I have on my podcast, and get over yourself, and let's get to work. All right. I want you to answer this question. Have you gone down the rabbit hole or black hole of never-ending tasks leading to nowhere? Have you gone down the rabbit hole or black hole of never-ending tasks leading to nowhere? Now, if you've been in business, more than likely the answer is yes. Have you ever been on social media? Have you ever was doing something and you said, oh, only going to show up here and be here for about 2 minutes or so? And you wind up seeing that, you see this video, you see that, and you wind up being on social media for an hour doing nothing. Or let's just take a situation that has nothing to do with social media and say, you went to Target, because I'm infamous of this. And you say, I'm only going to go in there and get one item. Do you ever walk out of there with like 10 items and over $100 bill after you've exited out of Target? Yes, because one, we've lost our focus. We are thinking that because we are busy, we look busy, that we're accomplishing things. You may feel like after 10 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours of working on your business, you felt like, oh my gosh, it's never ending. I'm overwhelmed, but there's no needle moving in your business. And so the whole purpose of this training is for you to get to a place where the decisions or that you're making and the time that you are spending in your business is going to lead to some sort of income generating task. Because you can't grow a business and impact the lives of more people without building revenue. And that's what you got to get clear with, especially being a heart-centered entrepreneur. Oh no, I see a comment here. I live in the rabbit hole. And so I'm going to tell you some things in here that may hurt your feelings a little bit, but it's going to have to sting for you to get your act together. All right, here are the facts. Who likes to plan? Most of us don't. Most of us would rather wake up in the day and be able to just enjoy ourselves. Listen, my mind is going 500 miles an hour constantly. So on the weekend, I'm not trying to do anything, right? I'm just trying to chill, right? I want to watch some ratchet TV that has nothing to do with nothing. I want to look at other people acting foolish, right? So I don't have to use my brain cells. We all have days like that. We all need times where we can just be present, whatever you fancy, right? But in business, if you are truly trying to move from being a side hustler to a CEO, and you're trying to not have that passion project, and you're really trying to replace income from your 9 to 5, or build generational wealth, or escape from debt, have some financial freedom, you have to plan. It's not an option. It's not an option. The problem is most of us don't plan. We think that we come in, we have these thoughts, we have these desires, and things are just going to appear and happen. It doesn't happen that way. Here is another fact. Time is infinite. And you're like, wait a minute, but doesn't it end at some point? Like, time is infinite, but also finite. At some point, we're going to get to a place in our lives where we won't have any more energy. We're at the end of our lives of some sort, right? So we want to live our lives with no regrets. But if you don't plan, you're going to lead to more regrets of not moving forward sooner. Time is infinite in the sense that the next couple of slides, I'm going to help you to appreciate something that we tend to say as business owners that we got to get over. Now, of course, you guys have to understand, I will be sharing with you the steps that you should take. But first, let's work on some of the mindset issues that we have when it comes to time. Because here's the deal. You're going to make time for what you feel is important. That's it. I've got 2 children. I am a homeschooling mother now. I have a spouse. I have religious obligations. My family is worshiping every single week, several times a week. I volunteer myself for things that are important in my life. I have to make time for my children. I'm busy. I'm busy. You're busy. We're all busy. I have to make time for self-care, right? We have to make time for what's important. That's just the reality of it. That's the reality. So stop complaining. It's going to be busy, right? So this is what we are not going to do. Or as I like to say, this is what we're not going to do. This is what we're not going to do. We're not going to say, I don't have time. We're not going to say that. It's negative. It's low energy. And you got to think about it. With all that's on our plate, that's not the kind of thinking we need to have in our minds. Now, it may be true because the choices that you're making right now are not prioritizing what's important for your business. So I want you to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. There is a concept that is talked about in this book called The Big Leap. I want you to pick that up. I want you to be able to read that book at some point in time. It's called Einstein time. Now, you guys have all experienced this at some point. An hour with your beloved feels like a minute. This is what Albert Einstein said. An hour with your beloved feels like a minute. Who's ever felt that way? A minute on a hot stove feels like an hour. Who's ever felt that way? So when you are enjoying yourself and you're loving this time with people who you absolutely enjoy, have you felt like that time has completely escaped you when you're having a great time, when your energy is at a very high level? How about when you are doing something you don't enjoy? You're with someone that sucks the life out of you. You're working at a job that you hate or doing a task that you can't stand. Does it feel like that time is never ending? When is it ever going to end? Man, only 2 minutes have gone by. I need this, hour to be done with. Have you ever felt that way? So what I want to help you appreciate is our thinking and our mindset has a huge role in the type of energy that we're bringing during our time. Okay. Now, the fact of the matter is you still need to be able to take care of your family. You still need to be able to take care of the important things, right? So I'm not saying to you, oh, because your energy is low with a particular 9 to 5, if you happen to be in 9 to 5, quit your job. I'm not saying that. But there are some things that you can do to prioritize your time outside of that that can help uplift you in your mind and in your space. Now, this is deep, but this is a fact of the matter here. Gay Hendricks brought this out in his book. He says, you are where time comes from. You can make as much of it as you want. It's all about the energy and mindset that you take when you're looking at time. So we cannot come from a place of, I just don't have no time. Everyone is busy in one shape or form. So it's somewhere along your day, you could be wasting time, right? Going down that rabbit hole, social media, whatever the case may be. You've got to be honest. You've got to audit your time. You've got to be truly honest with where are you spending it? And are there things that are happening during my day that are unproductive for me personally and for myself professionally as a business owner? All right, so let's break this down. This is straight from me. Planning is non-negotiable. It's a key part of being strategic in business. You have to be strategic, especially if you are someone like me that bootstrapped your business. I didn't take out any loans. I was taken from my own pockets. And eventually, the business was able to grow. But it required strategy. It required me to be honest with myself and not just put whatever I want to put on social media, put this email out whenever, just whenever, not consistently, being unclear about who it is that I serve and what it is that I do for them. When you look at my content, I want it to be clear as day who it is that I serve and what I'm going to help you do. Why? Because I'm planning and I'm strategic in my business. Why? Because if you aren't strategic, heart centered, of course, purpose led, I have a purpose, I'm heart centered, you will not focus on those income generating tasks. You're going to feel completely lost. You're going to be completely overwhelmed. You're going to be saying, I'm always busy, but I'm busy doing nothing. So let's avoid that, y'all. Let's avoid that. All right. Here's an acronym. I want you to put this in the comments for me. GPB. Put that acronym in the comments. I want to know if you're listening to me right now. GPB. Okay? This is the acronym that we're going to focus on. 3 ways to prioritize income generating tasks. 1 is goals. That's what G stands for. The second one, plan your work. That's what P stands for. The third one, B, boundaries. All right? Let me see that GPB up in here. Let me see that GPB. Okay? And for those who may be listening to this on a different platform, message me GPB. Okay? Find me on Instagram at It's Jasmin Haley and put that in my DM. Because your goals, how you planning your work, and your boundaries are essential for you to prioritize income generating tasks. All right? We're not in business to look cute, although you can be. We're in business to make an impact. In order to make an impact, we have to build revenue. So here are our goals. Here's the thing. Here's the bottom line. You've got to get clarity, get extreme clarity on what your goals are and be specific. So one of the things that I do in my training for my 100K framework, my group coaching program, is we talk about SMART goals. We don't have time to talk about that tonight. But when you are clear on your goals, you're going to line them up with producing revenue. Okay? So let me give you an example of this. You're going to write out goal A and goal B, or you can name it goal 1 or goal 2 or 3, 4, whatever goals you want to have from your business. Write them out and brain dump them. Just set them all out. Okay? Brain dump them all out. Once you establish what those goals are, you have to align them with producing revenue. So, for instance, my vision, right, and my mission is to help entrepreneurial women overcome fear and get them to generate and scale their business to 6 figures or more. Well, how am I going to do that? That's my main big goal. Well, first, I'm going to educate them, right? How am I going to educate them? What does that look like? Be specific as possible. So I educate the women that I work with through coaching. So that means that I have a goal specifically on the number of people that I want to coach to reach this X, Y, and Z number of revenue that I want to make for the year. With that goal that I've set, the amount of women that I want to teach in order to reach this revenue goal for the year, I'm going to task that out. I'm going to write down the smaller tasks that are going to lead me to teach that amount of women to reach that specific revenue goal. Well, how am I going to test that out? Well, that means that I have to find those women. How am I going to find them? I'm going to use social media. How do I know I'm using social media effectively? Is I'm going to set a smaller goal with the number of followers that I have. Or I'm going to set a smaller goal for the number of Facebook group members I have. So do you see where I'm going here? Tell me that you're following me in the comments if you're watching this live. Tell me that you're following me, because here's the thing. You're going to have a big main goal, and you've got to now reverse engineer how you get to that goal. So that means that if this is my specific goal that I want to reach, this revenue goal is $10,000 a month I want to make. Then that means that the task that I am going to be focusing on are going to be specific for me to reach that 10K goal. So when Jane Smith or John Smith come up into my DMs or my emails telling me about another opportunity that has nothing to do with that goal that I wrote down, what do you think my answer would be if I see that what they're specifically asking me to do is going to steer me away from that goal? Tell me in the comments. What would your answer be? Well, your answer will be no. Thank you so much for the opportunity. But unfortunately, at this time, my schedule does not allow any more projects. However, here is so-and-so that can fulfill it for you. Or, however, my schedule will be open a month from now or 2 months from now. Do you see how that prevented me from getting involved in something that may not be income generating? What if it was a volunteer opportunity, right? So if you're not clear about your goals, honey, you're not going to be able to prioritize importance in your business or urgency in your business. So depending on what my goals are for that month, that week, that quarter, that's how I prioritize income generating tasks. And I'm quick to tell someone, unfortunately, I am not available, right? Because I know what my goals are. I'm clear on it, and I know how I'm going to reach it. And if you are someone right now that's listening that is in a 9 to 5 right now, you're in a 9 to 5, you're working 9 to 5, you've got people who are relying on you for care. You know that your time is limited. So you're not going to waste time. You can't waste time. So that means that you have to be very strategic and focus on what you say yes to and what you say no to, which is why tonight you should be writing down at least 3 main goals that you want for your business. This is the last quarter. Let's make it count. Let's make it count. Stop saying yes without thinking straight. If you know that you can't remember, I want you to take you a small little piece of paper, put it in your wallet, put it up on your computer desk, put a bunch of sticky notes, whatever you need to do. Remind yourself, these are my goals, and This is where I need to spend my time in my business to reach them. Because what I'm doing right now, it ain't working. Me spending 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, whatever, or the 2 hours that I do have in the day to work on my business, and I see it's not moving forward, there's something I'm not doing right. It's not the people. It's not the people's fault. We have to take some accountability on whether or not we are acquiring the right number of time that we're spending on certain tasks. Type in the comments goals. All right, I know I got a little bit of an accent here. Remember that map. If you have not heard or watched the training when it comes to KPI, remember that map. If you don't know where you are going, your biz will not be cohesive, and therefore it will not be profitable. You've got to be clear about the direction that you're going. Very clear. And understand too that, especially in the very beginning, when you're really getting to know your customer avatar, that you're not going to have all the answers. The answers come from taking action. So just know that you've got to start somewhere, and the path will reveal itself as you go on. You're not going to have all the answers. So for those of y'all who are perfectionists, perfectionism is a clear sign that you are fearful, and oftentimes that you don't feel like you're worthy of the goals that you want. And so you sit and you mull over things longer than you need. Let's press that gas pedal and go. All right. Plan your work. I have a plan every single day. I know what I'm doing for the week. I know what I'm doing for the month. I want you to get yourself a hard copy or virtual calendar. Now, I'm old school. I'm in my mid 30s. I like to write things down. I don't know about y'all. I like to write things down. So I actually have too many things, okay? But that's because I'm extra. I have my goals written down here in a book. I have my goals aligned properly in a KPI document for myself. I have a daily thing that I knock off. Okay. I actually have it written down on this little big pad, legal pad that I have. And I also have a project management board that I use for my team and I. And so we have our tasks while the system is reminding us of our task every single day, every month, all of our ongoing tasks and what we have to do. That's how we stay organized. This is how we plan our work. Now, I carry around my little notebook because I don't always want to be tied to my phone looking at Asana. Asana is what I use to organize my business. So plan your work. What are you going to do today? So today I had to spend the majority of my time taking care of my family's needs. Going to the doctor, going here, taking my daughter to get this, get that. So I knew that today I only had about 3 hours to truly work. Just about 3. So I had to make it count, and I had to write down specifically what I needed to get done in those 3 hours that would be focused on income generating tasks. So even though I'm not getting paid right now to speak to you all and to do this lesson, this is a part of my bigger plan of helping more women reach that 6-figure revenue goal or more. It's a part of my bigger plan to eventually, maybe one day, be able to assist you, hold your hand as you're making these bigger decisions and coach you through that and create strategic plans for you. It's a part of a bigger vision. So I make time for that. So understand that when you're clearing your goals, the task that you do will align with that. So get yourself some sort of hard copy thing, and I want you to write down what you're doing tomorrow. Now, Aikisha, who's our community manager, she's awesome. She already told you what your homework is. Your homework is to do what? Write down 3 goals, okay? And those 3 goals you're going to task out. The second thing is that you've got to plan your work. What are you going to do tomorrow? What are you doing tomorrow? Tell me in the comments what you want to do. Now, there's a question here that states, what good virtual calendars are out there? I use Gmail, and I use Gmail's calendar because I like all the colors that are with it. It's great. I can share a calendar with our members of our Breakthrough to Excellence Network if I desire. A calendar can be shared amongst our team members. I put all my personal information in there. It connects with my phone. So I use a Google Calendar. That's what I use. But I also have a hard copy one. I actually have a hard copy one. But my phone keeps me on task because I have a busy life. And I still write down what I have to get done for the day. So you need to choose what works best for you. If it's going to be a virtual calendar, so be it. I have a business G Suite email. So that means that it has some additional features that may not be in a regular Gmail, but each Gmail account that you have, even Hotmail, even who still uses AOL? I know AOL still exists, but every single one of them has a calendar feature. Get that calendar on your phone and get it synced to that specific calendar related to your email. And if I schedule anything with anyone, it doesn't happen unless it's on my calendar because I keep focused on what requirements do I have to do today? What do I have to do for my girls? What do I have to do for my husband? What do I need to do for myself? This is a window of time I have to work on my business. How am I going to utilize that? All right. So I see some goals up in here. Someone said, edit my ebook, look at hiring for my ebook, manage my Facebook group, work on my speaker page. That's right. That's one of my clients right now. Okay. And I will be calling her out if I don't see her working on her strategic plan. Perfect. So she knows where she's going. She knows where she's going and she understands what she needs to do and where she needs to build in order to get to her particular goal. Do you know that for yourself? If not, you got some work to do so that you can focus on those income generating tasks. All right. Again, I want you to think about that map analogy. The next time I see you in your head, right? So think of me as your friend in your head, you're coaching your head. The next time I see you spending 6 hours on something like social media, watching them crazy videos, think of me in your head. Think of the map. Are you building a business, right? Or is this a project? If it's a project, that's fine too. But if you really are trying to build a business that makes an impact and also builds profit, if you don't know where you're going, your biz will not be cohesive and therefore not profitable. All right, so let's get to our final one. Boundaries. Woo, child. Boundaries, personal and professional. You can't be everything to everyone. You can't be everything to everyone. I need y'all to step into that CEO mindset. Now, the training last week, the one prior to this one, we talked about outsourcing. You're going to have to outsource at some point. Stop trying to control everything and delegate. And don't tell me you can't afford it either, because there are assistants out there that you can find that are $4 an hour. All right. That's how I started. You can outsource internationally. You can outsource within our country as well, whatever you desire. But you've got to have some boundaries. You are not going to be able to do this alone. And I call these particular situations this specific word: legacy snatchers. Now, for those of you that have attended my keynote, you've heard me speak about creating a lasting legacy. Many of you know that I've gotten into this business world because I lost my mother tragically. She dropped dead. And I realized that I was living my life small and I needed to make some massive change. And my massive change led me to owning my own business. But when you decide to take care of yourself, when you decide to say, I am deserving of these goals that I want, there will be people that will come in. There will be circumstances that will come into your life. There will be these things that I specifically call legacy snatchers. Okay. And what they will do is they will push up against the boundaries that you've set to attain these goals. And if you aren't focused enough, if you aren't intentional enough or strategic enough to realize that these things are coming into play, my friends, you will get sidetracked.
it will result in you doing the same habits that are keeping you away from your goals. You cannot be everything to everyone. Here's a clear example. I love to serve. I serve to the point where I'll do it and it'll be harmful towards me. For instance, have you ever been in a situation where you know you are completely exhausted? You really don't have the capacity to fulfill a task that a loved one may be asking you for. Now, you know that this particular task can be fulfilled by themselves or by them seeking out someone else to do it for them, or perhaps paying for someone else to do it for them. So they ask you to do this particular task, right? And you feel guilty. You feel guilty. They know that you're stretched thin. They know, they often may start with a conversation and say to you, I know that, you really can't do this right now, but I really need this. And then your heartstrings start pulling on you and you're thinking, man, all right, I can get it done. I can get it done. I'll just, you know, I'll just tell my kids that although I plan to go with them to the park, I won't go because I've got to get this thing fulfilled for this person. My friends, the legacy snatchers will come in and it will lead you to not holding integrity to the people that truly matter, right? It'll lead you to overcommit to things that you really shouldn't be working towards. It'll lead you in a place of being run down. You've got to start saying no, and you've got to be strategic in how you spend your time. So personal boundaries can be anything from not allowing certain toxic energy to suck you dry. You have certain people who call you up and they may say things complaining about their life nonstop. It just never ends, the complaining. And when it comes time for them to make the decision to make some sort of change, they don't do it. But they rather spend their energy complaining. Do you know people like that? Are you giving them space right now to send that negative energy towards you that can ultimately affect how you spend your time? Time is valuable, and ultimately we choose how we want to spend that. But I need you guys to remember that we can't be everything to everyone. If you say no to someone, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. If you say no to someone, don't be worried about whether or not they're going to be upset with you or you're letting them down. They'll be okay. They'll be just fine. Boundaries also show up with you don't have to check your email 500 times a day. Boundaries show up in ways that you don't have to give out your personal cell phone number. Give them a Google Voice number that goes straight to voicemail. You don't have to be everything to everyone. You don't have to respond back to that email in 2 minutes after receiving it. Give them a 48-hour window. Put on your vacation mode if you want to, and let them know responses will happen in 24 to 48 hours. And that goes for text messages as well. People will get it and understand when you stand firm. When I set those boundaries where I don't give out my personal cell phone number to individuals, or you've set certain boundaries where expect to receive a reply Monday through Friday in at least a 48-hour window, you only reply to certain emergencies and not on the weekend. Those boundaries are necessary for your peace of mind. You need peace of mind. And when you create boundaries that work within your lifestyle, right, you're going to have more peace of mind. You're going to be able to step into that CEO mindset, and you're going to have more time for those income generating tasks. But if you don't have boundaries, my friends, and you are just basically being thrown about on other people's urgencies, you're always going to feel like you never have enough time. Always. So remember that acronym GPB. goals, plan to work, okay, and boundaries. You're going to have to start saying no to some things that aren't productive for you. They will be okay. They will be just fine. You will be okay. You're not lesser than. And if you get pushback, if people saying you're selfish and you're this and you're that, because sometimes that will happen. I've had that happen to me because I've made time for myself apart from my kids because I'm an individual, right? Later for them. That's not the kind of person I want to have in my space. And if they don't understand, it's because they've got their own struggles. And I am not their therapist or the person that's going to help them get to a place of healing from that. Remember that, y'all. Remember that. I want you to lock down what I told you last week. I need you to lock down the methods in which you're going to serve individuals. I need you to focus on how you're going to create an amazing experience for the clients or customers that you serve. And you have got to get focused on goals and revenue. You have to. It's not optional. We all have a choice. Are we going to act or are we going to stay in that status quo? Ultimately, it's up to you. I don't want to hear a couple of years from now, it's somebody else's fault. We all make our own decisions, and it's up to you. And you can keep this one thing in mind, that your business journey is a marathon. This is a long game. This is a long game. So you got to show up consistently for yourself over a long period of time. And sometimes the results don't happen overnight. So be patient. There's a reason why you're here in this group, to get the encouragement and the empowerment and the support to let you know that you're not alone. There are going to be people that are going to be in your path right now that don't understand this entrepreneurial journey that you're on. Find the people that do. How many people are in this group right now? 92. There's 92 people in here that will support you, that will rally you, that would say, come on, girl, you can do it. You can do it. Right? That's the kind of energy you need to be around. You need to protect that energy ferociously. Protect it, because that is going to help you stay focused on those income generating tasks. Life is hard. It's challenging. But when you step into a CEO mindset, it's going to make you put those big girl panties on, yo. It's going to make you, and this is why I say business is a spiritual journey. It's going to make you woman up, queen up, and not take no more junk from nobody. Even yourself, okay? Even yourself. So, as a reminder, I am here. I am here for you. Let me take my brilliant mind. If you feel stuck, if you feel like, man, I've been trying to do this for, man, let me help you map out your biz strategy. This is what I love to do. When I work with my clients, I give them a step-by-step plan on what they need to do for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I will map it out for you. I will get you out of those weeds and get you focused. There are 3 ways you can work with me. You can work with me by, if you're at the very beginning stages of your business, you have not made any money up to 3K, join my Start Your Biz membership if that's what you desire. If you are beyond that and you're ready to work towards your first 6 figures or more, join my 6-month group coaching program. Most people, though, want to be able to tap into me and talk to me daily if they desire. They want to be able to bug me and say, hey, Jazz, what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? Many of my clients opt for the private one-on-one coaching. And trust me, you need that too sometimes, because I have had clients that are doing things they're not supposed to be doing. And I am definitely messaging them and letting them know, I peeped you. That's not what we talked about. Let's keep our focus. And so most of my clients are moving towards that private one-on-one coaching because they've done the groups, they've done the membership, and they just are ready to get massive results. Either way, I'm here. I'm here to support you. I'll be coming in here and I'll be training you all. We have maybe 2 or 3 more training topics, and then I'm going to be taking a break for some time. and coming right back in with some more trainings. All right. So I am here. I am here to support you. I'm going to drop inside of the comments my interest form if you just want to chat. It'll be a brief chat. It's not going to be something where we'll be talking for an hour, but it will be a brief chat to see whether or not I can help you, or whether or not you really need to pump the brakes, or whether or not you're ready to move forward. I'm going to give you an honest feedback. So here is my final quote, and I end all of my presentations with this quote. I've just been loving this quote. If you want to conquer fear, honey, this is not what Dale Carnegie said, by the way, but this is, I'm adding a little jazz flavor, okay? If you want to conquer fear, honey, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Thank you for joining this training, and I will see you guys later.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Dive in deeper by visiting the show notes for this episode or listening to more episodes on jasminhaley.com. If you found value in the show, share with a friend or leave us a review. I'll see you next time.